We all know Louisville's a good food city, and now a national magazine publicly agrees with us all here in the River City. Southern Living magazine listed Louisville as number 10 on its list of the South's best food cities. Its story recommends several local restaurants, including Conhuevos, Holy Grail and Grail House, Garage Bar, and the Silver Dollar. Southern Living reviewed 65,000 surveys as it came up with this list. The number one town in the South for their list was Charleston, South Carolina. They always seem to win, but hey, number 10 isn't bad. Here to talk with me about our city's great food obsession and the many great restaurants that enable us is Louisville Business First reporter Shay Van Hoy. And Louisville, has had a history that goes even back to the 1950s, where national papers would come to town and rank our chefs because they were locally owned. We had a unique heritage here.
Right. Yeah, and it's just built over time. So, you go back to some of the stalwarts that are still around, like Vincenzo's, and some of those restaurants that have spun off even future restaurants like Sereno. Yeah, history of chefs, and right now we've got some very high-profile celebrity chefs in town who've been growing their brands.
The New York Times used to always come to Louisville and preview the Derby, and they always say Edith Hassenauer's, a big family name that was here. It's long gone, and some other names like that. But those families that owned them for years really built the foundation for what we have today.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. That was before my time. Yeah. I mean, stuff that you build on the shoulder of giants, and has allowed folks to come in, today, like Ed Lee and Anthony Lamas and Damaris Phillips.
Now, do you find it that sort of surprising that with our long history that people now seem to always just rediscover Louisville and say, "Hey, I never realized you all had it so good here"?
Right. I think that, like you said, Derby would kind of spur people's interest in the city and the food scene. But now, with kind of coalescing the Bourbon Trail and, rise in distilling and brewing, more reason for people to come to the city. And so they're rediscovering some of these restaurants and then building off that, and the new ones are opening.
Why is the Southern Living designation a big deal?
Well, just, travel, kind of touchstone magazine. So along with things like James Beard, which last year we had a semifinalist, this year we didn't. And of course, Yelp ratings, which we just published a list of Louisville's top 25 Yelp restaurants too. You've
got several names now of groups, restaurant groups that are developing restaurants. Name just a couple of those guys that are, and men and women who are doing it.
Right, so the Coulters, the family, a couple, they started Louisville and are about to open their new concept called Biscuit Belly.
What is Biscuit?
Biscuit Belly is a biscuit restaurant, so it'll be kind of the second biscuit restaurant in town after Bougie Biscuit was the first. And they told us recently, we did an interview with Chad Coulter, and he said, it's something that they're looking to build on, and they've built Louvinos outside of Louisville now. There's one in Cincinnati and one in Indy. But Biscuit Belly, they think it's a concept they can easier replicate because you don't have to have all that wine knowledge behind like you do Louisville. And then Olé Group with Taco Luchador, and locally Kevin Granger, who behind Village Anchor and Lemieux, and just opened his new Italian concept, Grassa Grama.
Of course, Taco Luchador took a risk on downtown, and they even stay open at night.
Right,
which used to be you never did.
Right. The streets aren't quite rolling up as much, and our office building's just a couple blocks over, and so we see people out and about all day and all night.
We're doing something a little fun, Shay, on our website. It's called the Bites Bracket, and take a look here. You can go and choose because of this is, of course, paying homage to the NCAA tournament.
Right.
You can go upscale, you can go sweets, you can go casual, and you can go dinner, and you see a long list of restaurants there. That's amazing when you put it out like that. Look how many there are.
It is, and all local, I believe. I took a look at it earlier, and some high intensity matchups. I thought like Jeff Ruby's and Jack Fry's in round one, and a Grind and Muscle Burger Bar and a burger battle. So it should be interesting to see who comes out on top.
There's studies that are done every year. Some towns are named the top fast food city in America because that's all they have is a collection of fast food restaurants. We're fortunate. We've never been on that list.
Right. Yeah. Of course, you have your fast food pockets, but I mean, even look at downtown. Some of the fast food restaurants have kind of moved out. So the food court at 4th Street Live's closing, so there'll be no more Subway there. Taco Bell used to be in there. There was a Wendy's downtown that closed, but our local spots keep popping up downtown.
All right, great insight. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
from Louisville Business First, Shay Van Hoy. Thank you again.